Greetings and welcome to the energy of Scorpio. This is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. We are dealing here with Plutonic energy as well as Martian energy. We're going to go deeply in order to see particular karmas that the energy of Scorpio may be dealing with through the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a 9-card spread devised by the Order of the Twin Sun in order to see particularities when it comes to karmas that have to do with the energy of the 8th house as well, the 2nd house, and that axis, and how through transformative intensities the truth, the subtleties, and the force, the dark transforming force of the 8th house can show some sort of benefit in terms of your own personal path. Now, the placement of Scorpio can be within any of the grahas, or the major planets, as well as any of the houses accordingly. So it could be an ascendant as well. So please take only what you will. We will go ahead and get started now. Thank you for tuning in, and I thank you also for the continued support of the order and the channel. Thank you, and its contents. Bye-bye. Hello. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there are two people here. One is dealing with the past. They're trying to make borders with the past. Okay, they're also seeing, or perhaps trying to protect something that they knew they essentially did not get what they were hoping for. There's something also about a gateway or a doorway that needs to be opened to unfinished business. The other is okay, interesting. The other is going through a transformation. This has to do with conversion of fear into something else, into love, or into a type of reality that is based on fear and transcendence of fear, finding a way to transform that and to move forward in very creative ways, to embrace the energy of Neptune, especially the dream world, to move forward to what? The 8 of Swords. What is the 8 of Swords? The 8 of Swords usually indicates a way of thinking, okay? This is a backtracking, so there's a lot of Swords energy in here. This has to do with transcending fear, getting over ways of thinking to break free from that, yet it is leading to a type of entrapment. When this transformation occurs, when reality crosses over into the dream world, there is a way of thinking or a way of doing that can be extremely befuddling to some. It also can be extremely nurturing for others. It depends on how you see the structures of the mind, because the mind shifts from reality into the dream world, into the creative world. It moves from earth to water. Okay, this is a way of backtracking, to be honest. The 5 of Swords and the 3 of Swords in reverse. This is a way of also sort of looking forward, going through changes, and also finding a way to once again create a structure of the mind that will provide a sense of comfort, yet also of restraint. Okay. There also can be 3 people here. But we're not going to go into that. So we'll go ahead and get started now with the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a 9-card spread in order to see, designed in order to see the energy of Scorpio and a significant other through the 7th house. Okay, we'll go ahead and begin now. By the way, that pre-read also had to do with truth emerging. Truth that comes through empathy, mostly. Empathy, empathic resonances, okay? And empathy is it's something that is borrowed, something that is transferred, okay? In terms of either emotional currency or expressions of time and space, okay? Realities converging or transferring from one to another, okay? And then the truth emerges. This truth, though, it differs because it comes from the 9 of Swords in the upright, from the 8 of Swords in the upright. It could be 9 of Swords in the reverse. So fearlessness, truth emerging by backtracking into the future. Yeah. This truth is like a voice. It's a voice to be heard. Okay. I'm cheating here. Okay. And quickly the 9-card spread becomes, that would be 12, 13 card spread. Deemed ridiculous in some circles, that number in particular. So, yeah. Saturn's energy is here. Neptune's energy is here. There is a release from Saturn's clutches. There also is an embracing of it. Really toxic reading, at least when it comes to the undertone, the underbelly. It's very seedy. Let's see here. Okay, so this is breaking free from something. Yes, and converting it into something else. Breaking free, converting it into something else. The irony is that breaking free in this respect, it's going to require a great deal of sacrificing, total humbling experience, in my opinion, for Scorpio. Okay, there also is le pupille here, the pupil, something to be learned through the Hanged Man energy in the reverse. Okay, this indicates a movement from the 12th to the 11th house, embracing truly in Aquarian fashion sacrifice, and there's a lot of sacrifice going on. Sacrifice of reality on one end, of time, energy, resources on one end, converting that and becoming a patient, truthful philosopher of some sort. A new reality emerging by alchemy, by converting the energy, emotional traumas into something else. There's someone here also that is dealing with their own toxic capacities and letting that loose. There's a lot of transformation in this reading so far. This is happening during Mercury retrograde, and then Jupiter will expand all of this and give the lesson. So Sagittarius is watching over this. A lot of Jupiter is watching over this connection, and that's a good thing. I think you will get the one up, though. There are within 3 cards, 2 major arcanas per person. But you have the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, okay? And that usually indicates, at least in my book, randomness, chaos, disorder, okay? Coming from a place of order. So that's the energy of the devil, okay? And that actually is the type of order, a fallen order. Anyway, you are at a place of pure intuition, okay? This type of intuition is the inner light, or a light that radiates upon you, okay? Like the sun's energy. And this is giving a sense of drive, ambition, movement, insight, okay? And there's a lot of drive and ambition in you, especially to fight any order, okay? So there is the agency here of mutable Jupiter pushing you forward, okay? Pushing you forward. And that is the movement from the 8th to the 9th houses, okay? What is that? That is a movement from a house of fixity into a house of mutability. But this mutability is of a higher order. It usually comes through the explorations of Sagittarius, and it brings forward, it garners a sense of wisdom in you, okay? And that's a good thing. Now, the thing is that there is a severity in this type of connection, one that has to do with, excuse me, declaring war on somebody else's earth, okay? Finding places of war, finding a way to triumph, okay? In a severe way, domination. You may be seen as domineering in this respect. There's something about you that is trying to break free from those shackles of dominance. Perhaps you are empowering them or overpowering them in some way, okay? One or the other. There also is the Ten of Swords here, something that you need to embrace when it comes to emotional responsibilities, detachment. Something that you need to negotiate here is a way to create a psychic barrier, to be able to essentially say, this is not me, I am not this, these emotions are not mine, they're someone else's, okay? Yet to embrace this is something that needs to be sort of confronted when it comes to fears of pain, fears of anguish, when it comes to mental angst, okay? All of these want to be confronted in some sort of way, and perhaps you have the clarity to embrace that. There's a martyr emerging out of this that has to do with the type of sacrifices I've mentioned before on your end. You're dealing with someone here that has either placements of fixity that need to be released, okay? That is mutability, moving forward to cardinal energy, cardinal mostly, or perhaps fixed signs as well that are trying to become more mutable, more flexible in some sort of way. This person has a great deal of secrets on that they're not particularly showing you. The Hierophant's energy is here, as well as the lovers. The lovers try to reach out, and the Hierophant dignifies or sanctifies the reaching out with the holy order. Okay, that's the card of marriage. 13 is here as well. Something that the self can be communicative of when it comes to triumphal archways, when it comes to ritual, sacramental vows, okay? It's a very intense situation here, especially because Taurus's signature is here, the 7th house, as well as the 3rd house, that is Gemini's energy in Mercury, okay? Mercury, okay? So there are a lot of hands sort of being transferred or converging here with the card of marriage as well. Here, there is the Moon's card with 2 towers of Babel, some sort of emotional upwelling. There also is the full moon that is coming in, I believe, a few days from now. Okay, and I can't tell you what exactly the placement of the moon is currently. I would imagine somewhere around Libra, Sagittarius. Could be wrong about that. At any rate, this person has an effect on you. We see a lot of people coming together here. We also see the Sun card, 2 twins coming together in order to lock in a second house way, to share resources, to be to have clarity through the light of day. Okay, this person has a lot of major arcana going on, at least in the most conscious aspect of this reading. They're going through something very deeply intense, okay? Perhaps they are bringing others together. Perhaps they're also dealing with a way to understand how binding works in very deep and mysterious ways. Binding is a very strong practice here that they could be working with. Okay, binding usually indicates um, some form of spelling or some sort of I would say a way to use rituals or a way to use willpower in order to bring forward effects of some sort. Okay, and these effects are not known to you. There's a lot of Mercury's energy blessing this person in order to provide a sense of their own self. Okay, uh, the third, the 11th, and the 12th houses are strong here with whatever they are dealing with. Mm, So, with all this, there is a type of change that is occurring here that has to do with embracing toxic affairs or binding affairs, okay? Some things are coming to light, and I think you're going to bring this person essentially clarity when it comes to your own darkness and how this has been binding in some sort of way and how you've gone through the process. This could be a friend or it could be a lover, an old lover, something like that, someone meaningful in terms of that or someone else. There also is a possibility here of two people meeting and bringing forward gateways. These gateways are celebratory in nature. Okay, this is always going to be the affair. The thing is that more than anything, you bring a type of angry passion or zest or a fervor that cannot be matched by many. It's very intoxicating for them. They are trying to essentially negotiate if they should be cold. They don't want to. They don't want to appear that way. They want to essentially not think too much. Whatever they're doing, they don't want to think so much. But then they're always going to come across that threshold of thinking. You're dealing with someone here that tries to stay in the present, that also embraces the moon's energy, especially new moon cycles. They're devoted constantly to the past. They're also here with the 15 card, with the Hierophant's energy. There's something about them that either vows to remain in the proper situation, something that they vowed to before. Okay. Uh, Yet they're constantly sort of trying to renegotiate that. Okay. This is through the second and third houses. Someone who is deeply tied to other people's resources or their own. And this is something that they want to voice or change or improve upon. Okay. There also is something about a very deep uh, sort of detachment, a very deep detachment between both parties. Okay, what emerges out of this? The seven, mostly on your side, the Seven of Swords. Okay, what is that? Seven of Swords is a way to embrace, from a detached mode of observation, what has occurred. Okay, there's a numbing process to this, but I think you will come out with the truth, mostly about many thoughts that revolve around this situation. And these thoughts essentially are things that you can partition, things that you can cut off, things that you can also understand from an Aquarian perspective. But there are few challenges here. I would say that there's a lot of stillness. And if you meet this person with fire, they will constantly sort of deflect it in some sort of detached, cool and detached way. Um, it's a very deep reading. I can go further and further, but it's a bit too deep for me, at least for my tastes. If you would like any further extension, I am available for a private consultation. Um, Otherwise, this is a very interesting reading. As far as advice for them, yes, and for you, there's something there's something that you can return to in order to see two ways of seeing the same effect. Okay, something that you have done in particular in order to establish a type of distance, and There are two ways of seeing it, one in positive, one in negative. It doesn't matter which are which. But if you embrace the seventh house, if you embrace the energy of the moon and its fullness that is coming, there's something to glean in terms of dualities, of different ways of thinking, of ethical or moral ways of thinking, and how these are, they pale to light when it comes to um, some of the more emotional intelligences that may exist that you can actually see properly if you give this type of situation distance. But you have someone here that is going through massive change. They're trying to change their ways in order to bring forward some sort of deep and intense reality. Okay, this person is a mover and a shaker in a way, and they travel quite a bit in terms of the mind. Um, yes, and I think they've had a great impact on you. That is all I see. Wishing you well. Bye bye.